Good evening and welcome to another episode of T260. We recently had a voting poll on Facebook to find out what your next episode is going to be. You voted on what to bring for your very first camp out, so let's get started on this next episode. So we're going to be taking this step by step. So first things, know where you're going. Are you going to the mountains? Are you going to the canyons? Are you going to a forest? Are you going to a beach? Each location may require some differences in the equipment. Also, the time of year may matter. Perfect example, some of these locations might not be the best for summer, or it's mosquito season. Contact the park in which you're going to and find out, hey, is this a good time to go? When is the best time to go? During summertime, one of the best locations I like to go is mountains. Why? Higher up in elevation and not as hot. However, that is a terrible location when I like to go winter camping. I like to go places that are much warmer. My next tip would also be invest lightly. And what I mean by this, you don't know if this hobby is something you're going to like. The worst thing you could do is invest an entire ton of money on something that after a camp out or two you decide it's not for you. So if you can, borrow equipment. However, this does come with a set of problems. Something like tents, you're going to want to go ahead and set it up, make sure it has all of its parts, rain fly poles, and then you're going to waterproof it. If it hasn't been set up in about 6 months, more than likely it has not been waterproofed. And I don't care who you are, the saying that it's waterproof, if it hasn't been waterproofed in 6 months, it breaks down. If you want to know more about tents and maintenance that goes to it, we'll leave you a link in the corner. Another good thing is go with somebody that's an experienced camper. It shouldn't be that they're 40 years old and the last camp out they can remember is when they were 12 years old. You might run into some difficulties and problems. Try to go with the experienced camper so he can make it as fun for you as possible. He'll know what to bring, and so you have a great time when you go. Another tip I might want to suggest to you is investigate the place you're going. Is it a state park? Is it a national park? Find a list of things that it may have available. Most places will have things listed on their website. Is there hiking available? Is there swimming available? Canoeing, fishing, kayaking? Is there museums in the area that you might want to go look? Find a list of things you might be willing to try so you can have a good and pleasant time, and that way you're not just sitting around wondering what to do. You'll already know what to do when you get there, having a much more pleasant experience. Another little suggestion I'll give you. When it comes to your food, make it simple. This is not your kitchen at home. Make sure they're generally one-pan meals. The purpose of this is once again, you're not at home. So make it simple and make it fast. So therefore, you get meals done and you can go ahead and do whatever activities you have planned for that day. Also, you don't have a fridge, you have a cooler. So that can determine how much food you need to bring. Things that you might want to bring that are not refrigerated. That would be awesome because that is things that do not need to go in the cooler. Do you need a 75 quart cooler? Do you need a 110 quart cooler? That's going to depend on how many people you're bringing and how many days you're going to be there. One thing I would suggest is never do overnight campouts. I do not like them because the amount of resources and everything you're going to bring for a 1 night and a 2 night are virtually identicals. I do nothing less than 2 nights because the amount of gear I have to bring for 2 nights is identical to a 1 night. I just have to bring a tad bit more food and that's it. The next tip I got for you, and this one should sound pretty obvious, is be comfortable. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, make sure things, once again, this goes to what we talked about earlier. Have your tent waterproof. It's not very comfortable when it's downpouring and you're sleeping and you have a little drop of water hitting your head. You want to have a pleasant experience, so you want to go camping again. If you're like me that has some back problems, I've invested in a cot. It cradles my back. I have an enjoyable experience while I'm there. Do you need sunscreen? Do you need to bring, mosquito spray? This also comes to know where you're going. Once again, If it's 110 degrees during the summertime, make sure you go there maybe early spring or late fall. Go when it's the most pleasant time for that state park. You want to be comfortable and you want to make sure you have an enjoyable time so you could do this again. My next little tip would be is make a list. If you go to any store, sporting goods store, wherever store you go shop for some of this equipment, there's a lot of junk. And I mean a lot of junk you just simply don't need. Go through a list, make it a month in advance, ask some experienced campers, he or she, and what they might use. Find out certain things like, for example, do they have a burn ban? I live in Texas, and that just happens all the time, and there's different levels of burn bans. It may say, you know what, charcoal only and propane stoves. But sometimes it's more severe burn ban. It's only propane stoves. So that's something you might want to add to your list. If it's a strong burn ban, it might be that you're just bringing a camp stove. But make that list. Make a food list. And you'll notice you're going to be changing that list week by week to get everything to a small amount of stuff. And you're going to go through it constantly when it comes to your food and maybe seeing what fits in your cooler. But a list is probably one of the most important things you can do. That way you can, like, oh, I forgot a flashlight. Let me go add that to the list. So when it comes to that day, when it comes to packing it all up, you'll know what to bring and you will hopefully not forget anything. So what did you think of my list? Is there something that's important where you're at that you would have used? Please leave in the comments below. Or maybe there's something that I didn't mention that you think is important. Please let us know. There's tons of experienced campers out there, and we'd like to share your knowledge and information as well. We love this channel. We would love you to like and subscribe our channel and ring the bell notification so we could share this information with more people. This is T260, and have a wonderful day.